Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with expressing condolences to the victims, the families of the victims. This is not condolences even to the Belgian people or to Brussels, but to everyone. Our thoughts are with the families of the victims. Terrorism is a challenge for everyone, and I think we should all unite to handle the threat against humanism. Thank you. I am honored to be at this year's annual Donor Coordination Forum, which has become a tradition and an important platform for the dialogue between the government of Georgia and our friends, the development partners. Your support is invaluable for Georgia as it significantly contributes to the country's aspirations to return to its original European family, where the rule of law, human rights, and fundamental freedoms are at the core of common values. To become a leading country without poverty, where all its citizens are able to live a decent life. At present, there are more than 400 projects funded by donor countries, international organizations, and financial institutions, total amount of which is over 6 billion Georgian lari. I would like to highlight the importance of applying key principles of aid efficiency and effectiveness, which from the government side requires increased ownership, and from donor side, alignment and harmonization with countries' strategic priorities. Results orientation and mutual accountability guarantees our successful cooperation. Today's meeting serves exactly these objectives. I would like to share main priorities which represent key medium-term targets for me and our team. As you are aware, we all stand on the edge of the new development agenda. Last September, United Nations General Assembly adopted 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda, along with a set of new global goals. We, as a small but important part of contemporary world, are determined to make our contribution in developing and improving the world. Moreover, all 17 Sustainable Development Goals are also our national level goals, achievement of which will bring success and welfare in the first place to Georgia itself. We will work to solve the accumulated problems of people in order to promote and uphold the well-being of all groups of the society in Georgia. In that context, it is impossible not to mention Georgia's most important development agenda, which brings Georgia closer to the European values and structures. Further reform of the justice sector and judiciary, prevention of corruption, protection of human rights, especially rights of minorities, children and women, prevention of all fight against crime, and increased access to the European single market for the private sector. These are the areas the government of Georgia is intensively working on. The EU-Georgia Association Agenda, Socio-Economic Development Strategy of Georgia, Georgia 2020, National Human Rights Strategy, and the Government Program for Strong, Unified, and Democratic Georgia set the course for government actions. Economic development and employment, entrepreneurship, SME development, and DCFTA, taxation, tax administration, and general taxation framework reform, tourism promotion, and agriculture development are the main priorities under economic development and employment agenda. Education and human capital development, competitive and self-realized Georgian citizens, which require having a strong educational system in place. Improving educational system with the focus on economy. Fixing the existing imbalances between the workforce demand and the supply of professionals provided by the educational institutions. improvement of the educational system in the areas of VET as well as technology, engineering and math sciences. To create jobs for young people and involve the private sector in the process of human capital development through a dialogue between public and private sectors and strengthening their cooperation. Development of infrastructure and decent environment for all citizens. Development of roads, transport and logistics infrastructure, utilizing Georgia's potential as key Silk Road country between Europe and Asia, as well as its touristic potential. Development of drinking water supply and sanitation, secondary roads, irrigation, distribution of gas and electricity all over Georgia. Count on our donor partners, and together with close cooperation with you, we will achieve more efficiency in the implementation of these projects. It is also highly important for regional and rural development and attracting investments. Projects have to be implemented with environmental consideration. Open, good governance and the rule of law. Transparent and effective government as a prerequisite for stable and successful development of the country. Public administration reform, an important priority envisaging very close intergovernmental coordination in the policy planning process as well as civic engagement in governance. Institutionalization of the governance mechanisms and a systemic approach. Civil service reform, public finance management reform, local governance reform, open governance, anti-corruption policy, and improved service delivery for all. Front offices as example of improved government-to-business relations, ease of government burden on business. At the same time, streamlining of back-office processes, meaning more effective, transparent, and corruption-free government institutions. In the end, allow me to take this opportunity and invite you to the 8th Environment for Europe Ministerial Conference, which will take place in Batumi from 8th to 10th of June this year. The forum will bring together high-level officials from the governments of 56 UNESE member states, as well as representatives of international organizations, intergovernmental and non-governmental organizations, business community, and other key stakeholders in the field of environment, protection, and education for sustainable development. Thank you all, and I would like to again express our deep gratitude for your very important contribution to make our country better. Thank you.